Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the motorcycle rescuer, or Charlie, and anyone already watching knows what my channel's about. But sometimes I think it's important to go over exactly what my channel is about so that people fully understand. Let's start with what this is. This is a beautiful 6-month-old lexmoto ZSB. It's a cruiser style bike. It is all automatic in regards to chokes, starting up procedures, fuel gauges. It's an absolutely stunning, brilliant bike. It's fuel injection, so no carb issues, and it runs beautifully. Now I'm going to explain a bit later what this bike is about, why it's here and where it's going. Well, a little bit. I'm not going to give you full details, but I just wanted to show you I wanted to do a little overview of this bike and show you how far Lexmoto, Sinis and some of these companies have come along. We've gone back to metal, lots of the parts, which is brilliant, guys, because the parts that go wrong on these bikes in the last to be fair, the last 5, 6, 7 years, these bikes have been great. But before that, previously, it was too much plastic, the metal was crap and unprotected. The carbs used to gum up all the time and weren't tuned properly for coming into this country, or America actually, in fact, and stuff like that. Chains and sprockets wear within 3 or 4 years, but that's normal. We showed you a chain and sprocket change recently. This bike's going to a young lady I met last week or earlier this week. I met a young lady and her mum, extrememly lovely family, and I gave them the Sinis for a little while. They bought the Sinis, let's be honest, they bought the Sinis for a little while. When I got there and spoke to her, she talked to me about, she'd just passed her CBT, she had no experience, and she found the Sinis a bit too much. Bit big, bit bulky, having to use the choke, and yeah, it just went bad. So I immediately got online, looking to find a bike that suited her needs better. It had to be a newer bike, it had to be automatic choke, it had to be looked after. And then I met a really nice guy who, forgot your name, but you may be watching the channel. I think you may have signed up and subscribed. So and you really helped me out. I went quite late, rudely late, and you gave me all the information, and this is what we turn up with. So this bike's going to its destination later. I'm getting back my Sinis Cruiser, and I'm going to do the extra bits that I wanted to do on the Cruiser anyway. So that's that bike. I'll do a bit of a review later, but it is stunning. It's beautiful. Lex Motos have gone, they're getting so good, I think, for their prices, and they're so serviceable and so cheap to service. Right, where have we gone from here? The bobber. I have to be honest, I don't know where we're at with the bobber. Kind of in my head, I'm a bit lost now. So I'm going to have to go through the stuff I bought last week and see what we're looking at. I know we're looking for the front Speedo drive. Annoyingly, I ordered that from China because it was the only place that had one. Remember, the last one I ordered was a dud and I can't find any more. So I'm going to be, that part could be another month. So I'm going to get this bike up and running and maybe advertised this weekend without the Speedo for now. Obviously the new owner can always bring the bike back to me and I'll fit the Speedo. I think I've ordered one size smaller on the number plate. I think I've done that in there. I have to double check. And then I don't know what else I've ordered. I'm going to have to... I think I've ordered a new choke cable actually. I think there's a choke cable for starting. Yes, I have ordered one extra piece for this bike, and I'm so excited about it. I think some of you will hate it, and I'm so excited about it. It's just a dress-up piece, guys. That's all it is. It doesn't do anything. Here we go. This is my XJ600. I'm going to call it a Street Fighter. Some people have a go at me sometimes, even recently on my Yamaha Phaser Street Fighter project video, which has got like 12,000 views or something. And they say, it's not a Street Fighter. I've spent months, years building my Street Fighter, custom parts and so on. Well, actually, go back to what a Street Fighter is. Go back to the definition of a bobber, a Street Fighter, a calf racer. I know exactly what they are before making comments, okay? Street Fighter is a bike that has been lightened specifically to, you know, be a bit more playful and a bit more stunt-like. That's what a Street Fighter is. When you took off 2 huge frames here that were unnecessary in the bike, obviously if you had the full front fairing, they weren't. Without the full front fairing, they were. You've Street Fightered a bike. When you've changed the Speedo, which you don't need to do, any changes you do to lighten the bike, it becomes either a Street Fighter, a bobber, a calf, or whatever the style is. So this is a Street Fighter, although obviously it's not as custom as some of your bikes are, which is what you're really doing. You're doing custom bikes. I don't know what I've ordered for this. I think I've got small indicator. Hang on a minute, actually, I must have a front light. Front light, because that's obviously key. I think I've ordered 4 smaller indicators. And I don't know, I'm going to check in a minute. And that's it. The poor garage is looking a bit lonely. I've got my Harleys under that cover just because it's rainy today. There's that old moped thing under there that I'm not doing anything with yet, but I will do soon. And I'll have the Cinis back for tomorrow. So, where are we? I said I was going to explain a little bit about my channel. My channel is a charity channel. It is not about me making profits for me. It's about me making profits for other people. The people I want to benefit most are the people watching the channel and engaging with the channel. And that's the whole point. If you want a cheap bike and you want to know what work's been done, then you can look at my channel, you can see what work's been done, and you know you can get yourself a fairly cheap bobber tomorrow. That's pretty cool. All you have to do is message me directly. If you don't, then I put it on eBay or Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace at fairly reasonable prices, and I get rid of them like that. Any profit I make on top of the money I put in originally goes to some sort of charitable cause, okay? Now, for reference, so far this year, between January and now, I've given away 2 bikes for free. I gave away the second one fairly recently, but I did not advertise it at all, and that's fine. Sometimes that's the way I'm going to do it. You guys just have to trust that it's happening. I'm not going to tell you what's happening with this lexmoto, but I've sorted that out. That's something I've done. They paid me for the Cinis, but the Cinis wasn't right, so I've gone out of my way to get this bike for the young lady today. And then I've had, honestly, I can't count. I was trying to count the other day the amount of bikes that come down to get free servicing, and I can't count. We had Sue's bike at least. That was quite a big project this year. That took 2 or 3 months and cost a good few pounds. And then there's been a couple of mopeds locally and stuff like that. Anyway, let's move on to this unboxing. Let's see what we've got and what we're going to be doing today. Let's start with this choke cable, I believe, for the Honda CB250 bobber in front. I think I have to put the end bit on myself, which I don't know. Yes, so I'm going to have to work out how to do that. But the other cable had seized completely and it was useless. So that's a nice needed small thing to do to the bobber today. That's important. This one's fairly self-explanatory, but let's see. I got a bit sick of the old plastic Chinese lights. This is actually a Chinese light, but it's metal and it's much better quality. This is going to be the light for here. Look at that. I think that fits lovely. It'll be, I think this is 6.5 inches, and it'll be kind of there, and that should be fairly easy and straightforward to do. Hopefully, let me just check that there are brackets in here. That was the most important part of this. Yeah, perfect. There you go, we've got a bracket set as well. Check when you buy lights, guys, that they have bracket sets, because some of them don't. And that's a right pain. Ooh, I have no... Ah, yes. Speedo cable for the... Yes, Speedo drive for that bike. This one should be slightly longer, although it already doesn't look it. It should be able to reach the Speedo because we need to go from here to here, and this pipe just, I mean, look, at its best route, I could get it there, but I think there's too much pressure on it. It's too straight, it's too pulled. I think I've got 4 or 5 more centimeters on the new one. I think I'm gonna have to check that out in a bit. Hopefully that will solve the problem. This the top piece on the one I bought does not fit into here because this is kind of a retro fitting. I'm going to be putting it in anyway and securing it using a Jubilee clip, and that should be good to go and working as normal. I forgot about that. Look at these bad boys. We know what these are. These are gaiters for a bike where you think the forks are too puny looking, and that's kind of what this is, because it has a nice stance. It's a nice butch bike, and then you go to the front, it's like, bleh. Look how skinny them things are. There you go, simple as that. We'll add a bit of bulk, we'll add a bit of protection. That's going to look so much better. If you wanted to, you could put some higher up, but that would get in the way of all this and be a bit annoying. Is a potential though. I'm just going to do these bottom bits here, and I'm not dropping these forks. Well, I don't think I'm dropping the forks. I'm going to split these and tie them back on, because I just can't be arsed dropping the forks for such a simple, basic thing. Oh God, what else have we got? I thought we'd run out. What's this? Right, that's the new. Let me unpack this. That's the new 1 size smaller number plate. There you go. Ooh. Yeah, it's nice, but it is quite small, that, guys. Let's have a look. M78 TME, let's make sure it's the yes, I think that's fine. I think that absolutely solves everything. That one's not too bad on there. That one's the MOT one, that'll come with the bike, but that one's going to be on the bike for now because it's just a bit nicer. So I'm glad I bought that. That's good. Let me put that back in there. Great. And last is the new risers I was telling you about. Now these, I have no idea how they fit. Let me get one out. No idea how they fit, but remember we talked about the stance of this bike last week. That now that I've risen the seat back, so you're not swinging your nuts to the left and the right of the tank, which is worse now because one will get stuck under here and then one under there, and that will really pinch. We're adding these risers. I think we're adding these risers. Again, I don't know how they fit. Something like that. Yeah, I think this should just bolt into the old holes here, and then the bars come up to here, and then you've got a much better stance of a bike. I think that's how this all works. Yeah, I'll pretend I know exactly what's going on. It will be safe, that's what's most important. So where do we want to start first? Let's have a little look at this ZSB. So 6 months old, the guy who bought it used it to practice before passing his test, and I believe he passed his test much quicker than he expected. I know that the bike's got all of its early services, which is good. That means this bike is broken in now. Oh, where are the keys? That means this bike is broken in now, so can be ridden full out. What's the mileage on this? 1401, 1404. We have a fuel gauge, really important for Sky, so that just to save any issues. The Sinis does not. It has a reserve tank. It's stone cold, no chokes. It should just start up. Perfect. We should rev it and it should instantly have power because the choke's on. Lovely. I've checked all of the lights, I've checked everything works. I'm going to put a bit of give it a clean and put a bit of car polish on it after, and that's it. And then that's going to the new owner later today. I'm taking that to the new owner later today. Really stunning bike actually, guys. I swear if they made a 250 of one of these, I know the Chinese bikes are starting to make bigger engines, 300 and 400s. It's something I'm going to look into for myself soon, so that I'm not using the Harley throughout winter. I'll need a second bike. And yeah, I'm really liking the new Chinese bikes in regards to how well they're built. So my main needs today is this bike here, this bobber. I kind of need to get it advertised in case anyone's interested. Allen keys, make sure it's the right one, undo 4 bolts, put the actual bars up here, and then start looking at how you fit your risers. That's very simple. You're not going to see me turn these keys, that's embarrassing. In a minute I'm going to show you that I put on the risers over there onto here, and it's as simple as pie. The only thing we could come up against, which I'm hoping we don't, is the wiring, but none of this wiring is tight enough, I don't think, to be a huge issue. Clutch, possibly, there is some play in there, so that's fine, but we won't know until we go there. So let's get these risers on, and then we'll look at the wiring. Sometimes you might need to reroute the wiring slightly to get, you know, what you need. That's not a huge issue. So here you go, guys. All you do is you pop off the old one, put on the new one, and you bolt it down with its provided bolts, Allen keys. Obviously you want to nip it up, and that's the riser. It's fairly simple. Sometimes the kits come with these bits here, or you can buy them anyway, but it's not actually a huge issue. It's just for aesthetics. Let me put the second one on, then we'll stretch the bars, hope they fit, and we're one step ready towards this bike being done. So guys, there you go, stretch the bars on, nip them up, wiggle them left to right. One thing that shouldn't happen is the bars shouldn't touch the tank. That's an issue for the next MOT. This has a year's currently, but the next MOT, so far this isn't hitting the tank, but I don't know if I'm fully locked. I am fully locked, so we're clear, that's fine. Also, I'd probably be running the new choke at this stage in case you have to do any nipping or messing around up there. So get all this done in one hit. In regards to the choke cable, you have to slip off this end piece here and put that onto the new one. It's just held on with a spring there, but because this is seized, I can't get a bit more. I might need to cut it basically down the middle and then set this free before I put it on the new one, but that's fine, that's not an issue at all. So I'm going to kind of work this in at this stage to make sure it's all nipped up in one bit. So here you go, guys, the risers are on. I like them. I think they do exactly what they need to do. They've pulled the bars back. The stance is all more upright. I think they've given it a bit of bulk. So yes, very pleased at this stage. They are bolted down appropriately. One thing I need to do is I need to tilt these forward a touch, do all the controls. There's plenty space to do that actually. This bit here might be an issue. I might need to route this under actually, so I might need to undo this here, bring the wire around. Hang on a minute, can I not just bring the wire around? Yeah, I think I need to loosen this, bring the wire around, tighten it back up and get the air out again, and then this is all sorted and good to go. And then I tilt these down a bit because at the moment they're a bit high. You can see they're a bit high because we've changed the whole stance of the front really, haven't we? But it works, guys. It makes it that bobber style that we're looking for. Yeah, I mean, I'd throw the originals in with the sail, but I mean, I quite liked that stretch forward actually. It made me feel like it was an interesting bike, but this is more comfortable. Let me put the choke together. I'll get that twisted on, and from there, what's next? It will be new small number plate on, and this bike, I'll get some pictures ready for sale. It needs to be, I need to claw some money back and kind of done and dusted really. Otherwise, if it's here for another 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully that front Speedo drive comes, and then it's absolutely perfect. There's nothing left to do on the bike. It will have its Speedo working, it has all the electrics working, it runs and rides great, and so on. My only kind of thoughts were, for winter riding, it would have been nice if I could have made some sort of shroud for the filter here. Something to make it a bit more splash or rain resistant. And Nat did something similar recently. Yeah, sorry, as I was saying, yeah, some sort of shroud would be good to kind of put a bit more waterproofing on here, but I don't know. I could probably kind of chuck something together, but I haven't got the time or the skills to really make something interesting, and also then it ruins the lines of the bike. I guess to an extent this is kind of a summer bike really, isn't it? This is not a great time of the year to sell. What I will do is waterproof a lot of it as much as possible. I have no concerns about the electrics and stuff under the seat. It will be stuff like this I'm going to have to tape up and get them a bit more waterproofed. So let's carry on, let's get this choke cable on and tested. Perfect time to test because the bike's not warm. So guys, I cut the old cable in a couple of places to kind of work out what was going on, where it seized. I thought it seized lower down here on the old cable, but it hadn't actually. This is the new cable. That's how it works, see? Choke on, choke off, blah, 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 and it's as simple as that. They seize, guys, they seize. They get all... I chopped it lower down, it's quite cakey. It needed a bit of lubricant years back. You know, you see me every now and again lubing up the cables and wires on bikes, and that's why. That's exactly why. Even if it's WD-40, I know that this places lubes and water, but actually it leaves a very fine lube as well. So that's better than nothing. Let's get this choke cable on. We'll know if it works by how the bike starts, because the bike currently won't start unless the choke is on. Well, I'm assuming that because it's so cold. So has our £8 choke fix worked? Let's power this thing up. There we are. Let's pop some choke on. There we are. Let's see if we... Yeah, it sounds like choke's on to me. We'll know by turning it off, watch. And back on. Of course we have a working choke. And off, listen to the revs. And on. Oh. And on. That's good news. We have a working choke. One thing I am going to look at in time is, well, hopefully tomorrow, is the kind of misfire there to see what's going on. It still had that bit of a kick there. Now I think it's just fueling. I don't think it's spark, but I'm going to be checking both sparks and seeing if I can work out if one cylinder is misfiring or not. What's going on. Remember, we checked compression on both cylinders and it was very good. Compression on this engine was very good. So possibly spark issue. It won't hurt to buy 2 new coils. I was thinking that they would come next week. I'm a bit skint at the moment, so can't easily order any more new parts until I sell something. The sinister that comes back today I can just dump straight back on tomorrow if the new carb, if the CG performance carb gives it a bit more kick and helps it to start up a bit better, which I think it will. Good. Look how that wrap is still smoking in. I love the ruggedness of the wraps. Right, what's next? We've got a choke, we've got handlebars that work. Blah, 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 blah. I know we need to do a touch of paint on the engine there and a touch of hammerite on there, but that's not hugely priority at this stage because of the fact that, well, it doesn't have to sell this week, and if I'm very lucky, it won't rain tomorrow, and that it'll be nicer doing it then. Let me throw on the new plate. I think aesthetically that's going to make a big difference, so I do want to do that. Chuck on the new plate, and I'll get some nice pictures and get this bike. No, I need to kind of look at the slight backfire. Potentially. It could be an air fuel screw issue. I don't know if this air fuel turns. I'm not sure if it's loose or not. If it is, then I can adjust it. I'm not sure if this one was seized. I feel like it was. We'll have a look at that after. Number plate swap for now. And then I'm going to push it in and see if I can dry it off a bit, maybe to do a touch of paint today, so that it's one step closer. I'd like to get some pictures today in an ideal world and get it advertised. People aren't easily going to buy it without a working Speedo, but it's very hard to find the Speedo drives because it's not this bit, it's not the cable, it's actually specifically this drive here, and the internals. Getting originals is near impossible now because of the age of the bike. Getting recreations is fine, but they're normally from China, and you normally wait 6 to 8 weeks for them, which is a right pain. Okay guys, so them couple of bits are done. The small number plate's on. I think that plate is the size where the police will just leave you alone because they just won't be sure. Maybe even the MOT next year, they just won't be sure. It is. So this is 2 sizes under, so it's what's the original, 9.8? So 7, no it can't be 9.8, what is it, 9.7 originally, 8.6, 7.5, so this is a 7x5 plate. We're getting there, the bobber's very nearly done. I'm going to put the front clips on, the gaiters on, just to put that kind of finishing touch, and then it's going to be gentle touching up down here on the engine, although I'm not that fussed about that because it is just a usable bike, almost a winter hack for someone if they really wanted it. Ideally this bike would be available next summer, April. This would be absolutely stunning. Someone would snap it up, ready for the summer. But it could also be your winter hack, you know, why not? Right, let me get them gaiters on. Like I said, I'm just slitting them, I'm cutting them up the middle, and then I'll put a securing tab on the top, securing tab on the bottom, and maybe even a cable tie in the middle, a black one. That'll be fine. There you go guys, they are not perfect because I split them and I put them on with cable ties, but aesthetically they bulk out the front forks. That's what they're meant to do, that's what they're doing. I might need to put a cable tie in the middle just to neaten so it don't look, I mean it's fine. That's exactly what they are, and we know that the underneath's fine, so they could be taken off at any point if needed anyway. So we're kind of there with this one. The seating position's sorted, the smaller number plates on, looks a bit nicer. We know that everything works anyway, don't we? In regards to its running, riding, electrics, the Speedo cable's not working. But for now I can put this aside. For my reference, next week what do I need to do? I'm waiting on that front Speedo and a bit of paint. I've got some high temp paint. I may just touch up the engine, put a bit of tape around anything near it and just touch it up just on this bit here. And then I'm going to use the hammerite on this bit again so that it looks like the other side, which is just, you know, just nice and shiny really. What's this? This is just, that's just polish. And then this bike is just kind of done and dusted, and it will be ready to go. I am going to investigate the slight misfire. I'm not even sure if it is a misfire, guys. I don't even know if I'd call it that. I think it's that exhaust, actually. I think it's letting out so much air that the bike's doing that kind of puffing. And to be fair, my big Harley does the same thing. So it runs perfectly. It could just be me being picky again. Right, I'm going to push the XJ back into the garage a little bit. It's raining. Look at this mad puddle. God, it's really the whole size of this area. Push this back. Let me get the brake, front light all kind of dusted. Let me see if I can get that Speedo cable on, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there. All of these lights here, eventually they can be split because I'm not powering the Speedo at all. I can put one power cable here and that'll give it a backlight. It's not really necessary. So ultimately this is the only bit I need here, yellow, green and black. That's the side light. I'm not sure if this has a side light. If it does, then I'll need that as well. The rest of this is unnecessary, except for down here, indicator, and up here, indicator. So it'll be kind of grouping this all up somewhere, getting it all grouped up and cable tied, chopping off and taping all of these because you just don't need them, and just, yeah, all up here and neat, and it'll go behind the actual new lights fitting. So it's not easy. It kind of looks easy sometimes, guys, but it takes a while. It's a lot of fiddling and fettling, but you do ideally get there in the end. Let me check that the new Speedo cable is a bit longer than the old one. It'll be really annoying if it's not. There you go, guys. New versus old. New is definitely a bit bigger, which is perfect. It's exactly what's needed. As long as it all goes on and works, then we're good to go. I'm sure it will. Let me hook that up first. That's probably the next step, and then I need to kind of spin it over and just see that it does engage the Speedo cable, the Speedo drive even, and the Speedo meter. So guys, the new Speedo cable's on. Plenty room. Seems to be working. I don't actually know. It's held on with tape at the moment, but I'm going to try and find a more permanent. I'm going to try and find a clip that will be more permanent, because the actual threads don't line up. Obviously I need to test it and make sure it is engaging. The bike took a while to start this morning. I was having a little look, a little fiddle. See this fuel filter? See this arrow pointing up? Some numpties put the fuel filter on back to front. I mean, I bet that was a professional mechanic as well. The arrow on the fuel filter points in the direction of the flow. That filter is upside down, so I will obviously turn that around. But stuff like that you've got to watch out for. Even though the bike's running, it's not going to be running properly because the system won't be actually releasing enough fuel. And if it is, it's not working right anyway. So I'll get that changed. I'm going to take this for a very, very quick spin up and down that road, just to make sure we're engaging and we're showing miles per hour on the Speedo. So give me 2 minutes, I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, so where do we start? I think the first part of this puzzle is to get all this stripped back and only have these two and the two indicator wires ready. So these two, and wherever the other two are, everything else can be chopped back and removed and taped off. So I'm going to undo this big bit of black tape here and just get it all trimmed back, ready for the basic switch over to the new light. Then it's going to be fixing the brackets on. The rest is pretty quick and easy, if we're being honest. Yeah, this gauge has no neutral light, no nothing, so none of that stuff matters too much. If in the future anyone wants to re-establish all of that, all they'll have to do is either buy the end piece of the loom from here, or just go through the wiring and know what colour does what, and then they'll be able to go back to original if they wanted. But this isn't going to be a bike that goes back to original. I think someone will just use it as it is and enjoy it as it is, I'm sure. So let me kind of do something with that wiring, get it stripped back, get it neatened up, get it into some sort of neater pile up here, ready for the light. So guys, so I think this brown and black is one indicator. This green, I need another black, which is another indicator. I blatantly went nuts with the chopping. So one more black there, and I think we've got the 2 indicators. I'm going to check that out before we do anything else. There's no point doing all of this when you don't know exactly what these indicator wires are doing. So this green, I think it's a green, and a black should be one of the indicators as well. So I'll pull out an old indicator, wire them up, make sure they are what they are, and then we'll carry on from there. But we've lost all of that at this stage, and that's a fair amount of wiring. So after a couple of minutes of just kind of fettling and looking, I realised that I'd probably blown a fuse. Some idiot cut through all these wires. Yeah, so the signal fuse was cut, blown. So let's do my checks again and see if what wires are what, because it's all a bit confusing at the moment. I weren't sure if the red and black was an earth. I weren't sure what brown we should be using. So I'm going to go back to the basics where I was down there and see if the green and black and the black and brown bring on indicators. And I've got a spare indicator here that does work to test it with. Here, the brown and black make the right connection. Okay, that's the right connection. So let's test if the, what was that? That was the green and black. So let's test if the brown and black make the left connection. Yep, that was spot on. So we're back on track, guys. So let's get these wires neatened up. Let's get them up and kind of cable tied, ready for the new stuff to go on. Now I don't know if I showed you indicators this morning. I have to check, see if I left them at home. I don't know if they were part of my first video. I have got a set of 4 indicators for this bike, and they're going to be going on, of course. So next part, front light, get it all connected up, check it all. Indicators, get it all connected up and check it all. And then we will kind of throw it all together, I guess. So guys, I forgot to show you earlier the new bulb replacement indicators. They're just a bit smaller, a bit neater. Obviously they go there and there. I like the bulb ones so you don't have to mess with relays and stuff. Sometimes these bulbs are so low wattage that the flick might be a bit faster than you're used to, but it's not a huge issue at all. Right, front light, let's get this kind of done and dusted. I guess at the moment I'm going to put the rear frame on and the indicators, and then get all that kind of nipped up, and then pull some of the wiring through and look at the kind of final bits, checking it all works and stuff, and then nipping it back together fully. Technically, we then have a bike that could be sold anytime soon, but I need to change that fuel filter around at least, maybe give it a touch of a service. I'm not sure yet. I might have a look at the air filter, see how that sits. Okay guys, so at this stage all the wiring's just kind of neatened up a bit. This one indicator is now on and working, I think. Let's have a look. Yep, lovely. I'll do the same with the left one, and then I'll get the front lights in and set up through the gap here, and then I kind of push it all up, tighten everything, nip it all up, and then that bike's kind of good and ready to go at that stage. After that, it's going to be kind of lots of, I guess, polishing, cleaning and stuff, and just bits and pieces on the bike, and then that's it really. It's going to be a cheap hack for someone, I guess. I can't remember what it owes me. It owes me about $550. I'll be looking for $750 so that I can then take that money and keep doing what I'm doing, which is put it into another project and put some of the extra into a charity. So yes, so let me continue. Let me get this indicator on. I'm going to put the little ones on the back as well, just to neaten up the back. And yes, that's what I'm doing for now. I haven't got loads of time today. I'm delivering the lexmoto, so I'm not going to get stupid amounts done, but to be fair, I've got a fair amount done. This is kind of looking good at this stage. I've done all the bits I wanted to do, which is good. I might try new coils on this tomorrow if the weather lets me. I've got them red ones, but they didn't work very well on the calf, so I don't know if I just wired them wrongly at the time. But I just want to test and see if the coils solve that kind of blip that it's got. But I don't think they will. I think another Motad exhaust that hasn't been bored out is what would solve that issue. Right, let's carry on. Let's get this left indicator on, then we can put the front bulbs in. That bit's easy and quick. Nipple the front end up, and then we'll have our overall look of this bike, which is quite cool. So at this stage, you're going to be pulling on wires and stuff. Just check that you're good to go. Make sure your left is your left and your right is your right, and it's flicking at the right pace. Not that you'd change anything if it wasn't at this stage, because it's got a year's MOT. The indicator's all good to go. Now we'll push through the main wiring loom for the front light. That bit's fairly straightforward. Get the light set up roughly where we want so that we can nip up the sides, and then we will be getting it to kind of the position we want, and you're kind of good to go there. Then it should all be working, and it should be set up ready to just continue doing what you're doing. If at any point you wanted the power on this light, all you do is take one power light from any of these wires down here, and you literally put it into there and do that up like an old-fashioned light bulb, and you'll have a light. If you take a light that only comes on when your lights are on, then it will only come on when your lights are on. So if you want to be, you know, picky or actually just professional about it, you can do it as proper as you want. At the moment, I'm not putting. I will put the power light on, because why not? And I'll probably just pick a wire that's always live. Right, let me get the front on. Let me get this bit nipped up and buttoned up. It's a nice looking bike. I mean, the more I look at it, the kind of cleaner it looks. It's a nice colour. I'll put a bit of my polish on it, a bit of my cutting compound first, and then a bit of polish. It should come up really nice. It's going to do someone a great winter hack. Yes. Alright, cool. Okay guys, so technically this is kind of the final stance of this bike at this stage. It looks great. It just does exactly what it's meant to do. Let's just double check all the electrics. So ignition on, side light, main light, high beam, lovely, low beam, high beam, low beam, left indicator, right indicator, perfect. Yep, so that's all good at this stage. I think it looks great. I think it looks much more mean like this. That 6.5 inch light is perfect. I've actually got a small shield coming for it, a black one, so just to give you a little bit of air resistance if you take it on any motorways. Yeah, very happy at the moment. I think it just looks much better, and it's kind of, you know, done and dusted in regards to the front end now, which is great. It didn't take that long. The Speedo's working. The Speedo's quite nice, I think. I like the style. I like the fact that it's different. I like the fact that it goes the other way. Not sure how accurate it is. Have got the rear mini indicators. I am going to put them on actually, and I might even order a number plate that is one size smaller. That number plate's huge. My God, look at the size of that thing.
It's about what you can do, not how big it is.
Sultan's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go one size under on that, because it's that will just help the rear end out on this occasion. And I'll chuck on the other 2 mini indicators down there on this. But I like it, guys. I think it's you know, in 1 week it's turned from a quite basic kind of motorway-ish touring bike to quite a mean-looking street fighter. A very basic street fighter, I grant you that, but I like it. Okay guys, so wrapping up for today, what have we done? We've done the Speedo, which is working. Front light and indicators are all working. I gave it a bit of a polish so it looks nice, a bit of a clean, and everything works as it should anyway, really. Still have to change the fuel filter around, but I'll do that. It's running fine anyway, so it's not a huge issue. I'll take away these little bits of rust down here, which is here and here. That won't take me 2 minutes, but good bike, ready to go for someone. I'm going to get some pictures, get it up and advertised, and should get 750 minimum, I'm sure. So to really finish off the footage today, guys, let's have a look at these stance. Let me tilt you up a bit, and we'll have a look at the stance of the bike with me on it. Right, come on, stop messing around, let me tilt. There you go. Lovely, relaxed. Yes. Yeah, it's really comfortable, guys. I mean, obviously not on your arse. This is actually a padded seat. I think Nat was asking me, look, it is a padded seat, but yeah, I mean, it's thin. But the bike just has so much presence that it's worth it, I think. Yeah, the stance is much better now. I'll give it a good spin tomorrow. As always, thanks for watching. If you're interested in the XJ6, let me know. That's available now, really. I'm going to throw an advert up later tonight, try and get a quick sale on that. And if, of course, you're considering the bobber, contact me as well. The XJ 750 minimum to you guys, and the bobber is going to be around 12-ish, but you guys 1050 maybe, which is much closer to what it owes me. And I'm going to do the last couple of bits tomorrow, just down here, just that polishing up that bit there. So it's going to be all good. It's going to be stunning and ready to go. I might try the I've got a second pair of coils. I might try them just out of curiosity, but I don't think it's running badly. I think it's that exhaust, and it's just the kickback sound you're hearing is just the exhaust being a bit awkward. But I'll give it a good run tomorrow again, and we'll see how that goes.